I know that the President of North Korea made the comment, I guess it was last year, that he was trying to develop an intercontinental ballistic missile and send it to Austin, Texas. I'm offended by that to some extent, being from Texas, that he picked Austin. But set aside the nuclear agreement with Iran. Just set that aside. Can North Korea and Iran still cooperate in mischief, like promoting terrorism, weapon development, conventional weapons? Set that whole thing aside and assume Iran will follow it as it's written. Mr. Berman, I'll ask you that question.
The answer is yes, sir, with caveats, which is that some of these programs are expensive, they're extensive, and they're expensive. And so when you look at, this is why in my opening statement, I focused on the sanctions relief that is coming in the direction of Iran in the near term, because this cooperation is ongoing now when Iran is under sanctions and the North Koreans are hurting for cold hard cash. When the Iranians, when you've heard Dr. Nish talk about the reverse flow, part of that has to do with the fact that as Iran becomes reintegrated into the global economic community, it will have greater money to spend on collaboration with other countries, including with North Korea.
Let me reclaim my time, Mr. Berman. In other words, they can still work together, and Iran can still follow the deal, but they can work together that still would have a detrimental effect to the world. For example, in the work, I'll ask you, Ms. Rosette, of terrorism. Iran being the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, I think North Korea should be on the list, but they're not. Can Iran continue to develop its terrorist activities in the world, working with North Korea to achieve that goal and still follow the deal?
Yes. North Korea has been of substantial assistance to Hezbollah, which is something, again, the administration has been silent on, but a federal case in which I testified as an expert witness last year found that they have.
And be specific. Where is Hezbollah doing its mischief?
Southern Lebanon, which is pointing right at Israel, that is. And may I also give you an illustration of how North Korea, in fact, helped with proliferation in Vienna, right where those nuclear talks were taking place. There is an enormous North Korean embassy on the edge of town, along with the big Iranian embassy in the middle of it. And with the Syrian reactor, it was a former North Korean ambassador to the IAEA in Vienna who set up an enormous procurement network spanning Europe, China, Asia, which helped buy the components for the Syrian reactor that the Israelis finally destroyed in 2007. There is no reason that could not be duplicated today. He worked through China, which through these entire negotiations has still not rolled up the illicit procurement network of another Chinese proliferator to Iran, Li Fengwei, for whom there is a $5 million reward offered by the State Department, who remains active, although the U.S. since 2004 has been demarching the Chinese over, please try to shut him down. So is it possible? Oh, yes, with bells.
Thank you.